And joining us now is Chuck Marino, former Secret Service Supervisory Special Agent. It is good to see you again on this, Chuck. I want to ask you,
Likewise.
what do you make of what Evan just said? Potentially the shooter was not taken out right away because he was thought to be local law enforcement.
Yeah, look, it's possible. I think with any significant security failure in the overall plan, it's going to unveil further cracks in the system that day. And one of the main areas, as I've said from the beginning, is going to be the area of communication, not just between the Secret Service and state and local law enforcement, but also within both of those agencies. At the end of the day, the Secret Service still owns this. I think the former director was right to say that we need to take the hit on this, being the Secret Service. They're responsible for the plan creation, for the effective implementation of that plan, full stop. I think this is a problem that this is playing out in the public, considering how much the Secret Service relies on the support of state and local law enforcement. So it's a shame that this is now turned into a he said, she said. The other problem, Natasha, is all of these different investigations are not going to cover all of this. The FBI, as we heard Director Wray state, they're focused on the shooter and the attempted assassination of the former president. The DHS Inspector General is going to be looking at the Secret Service and their procedures, their methodology, what went wrong that day. So really, this would all come down to this independent commission that Democrats and Republicans are talking about putting together that would take the most holistic look at what went wrong here, including what we're talking about right now.
If you were in charge of that task force looking into this, what are the major questions that you have? Where would you begin?
Well, it's got to start with the Secret Service planning of the event site and why it was determined that that building 130 yards away with the direct line of sight and elevated was placed outside of the outer security perimeter. That's never made sense to me, doesn't make sense to the overwhelming majority of current and former agents that I'm speaking with. So that starts the ball rolling in the failures of the security plan and everything else that's going to trickle off of this. Threats, especially at outdoor locations like what we saw in Pennsylvania, they direct the perimeter settings that we see established by the Secret Service. So very easily, that building should have been incorporated in the outer perimeter and prioritized as such. Now, that's where we'll see the communication come in if the Secret Service relayed to state and local law enforcement that this was a must secure location and that under no condition should anybody leave to participate in any part of the investigation. Should somebody have to look for a suspicious person, that's what played out here. But never in my career have I heard about a counter sniper team, Secret Service or local or state police, leaving their post to participate in trying to track somebody down. So we're going to see a lot of mistakes here.
Should local law enforcement be held more responsible for this shooting?
Well, yeah, look, I think it's a tricky situation for the Secret Service, but I think everybody has to own up to what their responsibilities are. And that's why these investigations need to move and move quickly to put an end to all of this. If a local police department made a mistake and abandoned an essential post as dictated and identified in the security plan put together by the Secret Service, then they've got to take some portion of the hit on this. While it's ultimately up to the Secret Service to make sure that that never happens and have redundancies and communication in place in the event that it does, I think a state and local law enforcement agency should say, hey, look, we didn't do everything that we were supposed to do and may have contributed to the sequence of events that led to this unfortunate incident. We'll see.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.